Okay, so picture this. In one corner, you have the quiet, buttoned-up world of high finance. And in the other, the loud, look-at-me universe of the online influencer. For a long time, these two worlds just existed separately. But what happens when they finally collide? Well, let's get into it. So, this is really the big question, isn't it? Can you actually build a personal brand in an industry that demands you basically erase it and become part of their brand? Today, we're going to break down this huge clash of cultures, and it was all kicked off by one very, very public incident. And it all starts right here, with a group of young guys who got nicknamed the finest boys in finance. They did a high-fashion photo shoot that went completely viral and sent, well, a pretty big shockwave through their very traditional industry. So let's set the scene with our first section, the viral photo fiasco. So who are we talking about here? 4 junior employees, and not just anywhere, but at financial titans like Barclays and Goldman Sachs. They were featured in a magazine spread, just dripping with luxury brands like Loro Piana and Hermes. And the photos? They just exploded online. We're talking memes, viral tweets, exactly the kind of attention that their employers absolutely dread. You know, what's really telling is the self-awareness here. One of the guys in the photo, DeMar Johnson, said this after it all blew up. He got it. He understood the problem, that in a single moment, one junior employee could become the public face of a multi-billion-dollar brand, whether that brand likes it or not. And that one photo shoot really pulls back the curtain on a much bigger story. I mean, this isn't just about a few pictures. It's about 2 completely different value systems crashing into each other. And here's the conflict, laid out plain and simple. Online, the currency is visibility. It's all about your personal brand and projecting success right now. But on Wall Street, it's the total opposite. Discretion is everything. Hierarchy is sacred. And respect, what they call street cred, that's earned slowly over decades, not with one viral post. So you have to ask, why is this clash happening now? Well, because the generation walking into these firms grew up completely online. I mean, look at these numbers from Pew Research. For young adults, social media isn't some side hobby. It's like the air they breathe. 80% are on Instagram. For them, sharing their life and their career is just normal. Psychotherapist Jonathan Albert just nails it here. For older generations, there was this really clear, bright line between your work life and your personal life. But for today's young professionals, that line has gotten so blurry it's basically gone. The idea of not posting about your cool, high-status job just feels weird, unnatural.
Okay, so this brings us to a super crucial point. While these rules might feel unnatural to the new folks, they are very, very real. Let's dig into the unwritten and, frankly, the written rules of finance.
It all comes down to this one core concept, brand risk. You see, financial firms see their reputation as their single most valuable asset. So anything an employee does that could possibly tarnish that reputation, whether it's a flashy photo shoot or just a careless tweet, is seen as a direct threat to the entire business. Wow, this quote from a Wall Street recruiter, it really says it all. The moment you accept that job, you are not just an individual anymore. You are a representative of a massive global institution. The me has to disappear, and it's all about the us. And that's a huge identity shift that a lot of people struggle with. So you might be wondering, could a senior partner get away with a magazine spread? And the answer is maybe. And that's because of this idea of institutional capital. It's the trust, the reputation that you build up over years and years of hard work. These junior bankers, they just hadn't been there long enough to earn the right to make a high-profile mistake. They had no reputational currency to spend.
So what really happens when you cross these invisible lines? The consequences are not abstract. They're very real. Let's get into the high cost of likes.
Let me give you another example, one that's maybe a little more down to earth. A former Goldman Sachs analyst started an Instagram account to show off her amazing cakes. The username she picked? Investment_Baker. Seems totally harmless, right? Well, not to the compliance department. So why was this a problem? Well, first, the username was way too close for comfort to her employer. The firm worried what would happen if a client saw she was spending her time baking instead of working on their portfolio, or what if the account attracted some kind of negative press. It just goes to show you that even a wholesome hobby can become a total compliance nightmare. In the end, she felt so boxed in by the rules that she just left the bank.
And the fallout? It's not just a quiet word from your boss. It is a formal process.
A viral post immediately triggers an internal compliance review. That can lead directly to a negative mark on your performance rating, usually on the line item for upholding firm values. And what does that impact? Your year-end bonus, the very money you're there to make.
An anonymous source who knows these bank policies put it very bluntly. For a junior employee with basically no track record, a mistake like this isn't a learning experience. It's your one and only strike, and it follows you.
Which brings us to our final takeaway. In this battle between the individual and the institution, there is a clear and undisputed winner.
Look, nobody's denying that the world is different now. The values of a new generation have definitely changed. But here's the hard truth. That doesn't matter. Because these institutions are incredibly explicit about their culture and their rules right from day one. The idea that you can change that from the bottom up, it's just a fantasy.
And this is the bottom line, delivered perfectly by Professor Paul Argenti. You can have your own values, sure, but when they clash with the organization's culture, the organization is going to win, every single time. The only exception is if you're the one running the place.
So we end on this thought, because it really goes way beyond Wall Street. In an age where every single one of us is encouraged to build a personal brand, where do you draw the line? What do we owe the organizations that sign our paychecks? That's something we're all going to have to figure out for ourselves.